What is going on, guys? I am Jay the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about the demise of Public Enemy. Now, I hope that, because I'm always optimistic. I'm Mr. Optimistic. But apparently, the group it's over. And it's due large in part to politics. You got Chuck D that wants to support Bernie. And then you have Flav that doesn't. I did a video about it. I'll put a link in the description box. I did my initial video, okay? I think pretty much before a lot of people did, and I responded to it. And I spoke about this thing and how, Chuck was going to give Flavor Flav a year to change his mindset. But I think that, some things may have happened behind the scenes, some politics, to where now he's pretty much kicked Flav out the group. Now I'm going to take a look at this article from Cleveland.com, but I want to say this first. This is a shame that it has come to this. And I said it in my initial video. It's a shame that you have politics coming into play in this situation, but it's not surprising because you got Chuck D who wants to support Bernie. And you got Flav who does not, because he's looking at it long term. I think he's looking at it from a business perspective. Chuck is looking at it from a, let me side with the white liberal. Okay, that's how he sees it. And the fact of, if my information is correct, Chuck was going to put on a free show at the Bernie rally. And he's basically insinuating if Flavor would have gotten paid, he would be there. That might be true. But Flavor has always had a stance. Like, this ain't something new, to where he's like, yo, we don't want to endorse any candidates. Because, again, he's looking at it from a business perspective. Chuck is looking at it from an activist, or quote unquote activist. You have a lot of these black musicians who want to side with certain political candidates, and why not get them on your side if you're Bernie? Why not have them at your rallies and show black people, hey, we got Public Enemy endorsing us? And I think Flavor did not want any part of that. Now, according to this article from Cleveland.com, because Flavor Flav responded to being put out the group. Flavor isn't taking his firing from Public Enemy lying down. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer took to social media to respond to news that he had been dismissed from the group, as well as several social media posts from co-founder Chuck D. Flav was booted from the legendary hip-hop act after two sides engaged in an altercation on social media, and other members of the group because of the members of the group wanting to perform at the Sanders rally in Los Angeles, under the name Public Enemy Radio. Flav had issued a cease and desist letter to Sanders saying they were engaging in the unauthorized use of his likeness, image, and trademark clock in the promotional materials. This enraged Chuck, who went off with several posts on Twitter accusing Flav of being on that stuff, who was desperate for cash. The group then released an official statement saying that they and Public Enemy Radio will be performing without Flav. The group said in a statement, "We thank him for his years of service and wish him well." Doesn't that seem like a letter of, like, y'all know how these guys get, they get fired from these corporate jobs or from TV, and the company put out those statements saying, we appreciate your years of service and we wish you well. That's basically what this was, So Flav, in saying this, responded by saying, "Are you kidding me right now? Over Bernie? You want to destroy something we built over 35 years over politics, all because I don't want to endorse a candidate. I'm very disappointed in you and your decisions right now, Chuck. Flav went on to say he's been clean for 10 years, accusing Chuck of spreading lies. Flav also tweeted at Chuck that he is not his employee, rather a partner in the group. Chuck has yet to respond. Yeah, man, if you're basically, because Chuck insinuated that he need to go back to rehab, which I think was a low blow. It really was. But it's almost as if Chuck, it's messing up Chuck's money. Because maybe Chuck is doing this for free, but there's a bag for him waiting. I'm pretty sure there's a bag for Chuck D. It may not be for performing at this show, but maybe he thinks that by performing, people will go and download music, and listen to their song, maybe go to some future shows. Or he's just looking at it as a way to support Bernie. But he's going to get something out of it. I highly doubt that he's doing this just for free, unless, he is a fan of Bernie and he wants to push his message forward, which is the wrong message. I know some people aren't going to like this, but I don't support it. I don't support that campaign. I just don't. I don't support what he's campaigning for. I know there's a lot of, melanated people who are lazy, who don't want to work. They want to be given and handed everything. And I know they like that message of getting things for free, but nothing, absolutely nothing is free in this world. Absolutely nothing. There's going to be some give. Nothing is free. And I think that Chuck is showing that he's political, all right. He's political for one person only. That's Bernie, a guy who is only using them to put a black face on their campaign. I mean, a lot of these particular companies do it all the time. I mean, it's nothing new, but you're willing to dismantle years of what y'all have. And Flav is right. You're willing to dismantle what y'all have spent years building for what? Just to appease the Sanders campaign? That just doesn't make any sense. But that's where we are in 2020. That's where we are. Everybody's political. Everybody feels like they have to side, especially with black people, you have to side with the Democrat. Don't matter who, they just got to be a Democrat. Well, guess what? That party still ain't doing nothing for you. All these years of supporting them, getting nothing in return. And Chuck has taken a stance of, I want to be the black face on this campaign. And I'm willing to kick Flav out the group in order to do that. Because you got to ask yourself this. Why would you kick him out the group? That doesn't make any sense. Like, it's almost as if you feel like you're going to get a spot in, his administration. Or on, what I'm saying? It just, why go through all of this? I'm not saying Flav is a perfect guy. Flav has made mistakes. I think one of the lasting memories of Flav is him doing the reality shows. So I'm not saying that, this guy doesn't have faults. I'm not saying that this guy hasn't made mistakes. But there's some people who are acting like this is a good thing. Now, there's a lot of people who don't. But if you look at the thumbs up to thumbs down ratio on the video that I produce, it just shows you that you have a lot of black people who have the mindset of Chuck D. They would rather go and help these non-melanated people get to where they are and get nothing in return. You're literally bragging about doing a free show, okay? You're literally bragging about being the black face on this particular campaign. And you're upset because Flav didn't want to be a part of it. Flav didn't want to be a part of it. And there are people who are mad at him for doing so. You go to the video that I did 2 days ago. People are thumbsing it down because they want to support Bernie. because you have a lot of millennials who may think the same way as Chuck, you know. But be that as it may, to me, Chuck can do whatever he wants. From my understanding, he owns pretty much the name of Public Enemy, so he pretty much owns it. And I hope that there can be some reconciliation between them two, but you just never know in these situations, because when business and personal and politics comes into play, there are people who are willing to break up what they have in order to further whatever politics or agenda that they may have. I just don't know why he had to be put out the group. I don't understand that. Like, why are you putting him out the group? What is putting him out the group gonna do in the long run when you're no longer helping Sanders? You're no longer performing at his rallies, or you're not, you know what I'm saying? You just, what happens when political season is over? You know, when you want to go and perform in front of crowds, they're still going to remember the fact that you supported a certain candidate. It could affect your business. I think Flav may be looking at it from that standpoint. Listen, you know, Chuck can support who he wants. But when you're putting people out the group because of it, because you're upset because he sent a cease and desist, which again, I don't think Flav needed to do that, but it's well within his right if they're using his likeness and he doesn't want them to use his likeness. He can go and he can do that. But it is just sad that the demise of this group do it in fact to politics, which is one of the reasons why I don't speak politics, because politics could be very decisive, especially with people who don't even really understand the landscape of it, you know.